Hi there, I'm Mr. Kovac, and we're going to be talking about how students learn HSIE on my podcast today. At first glance, teaching may appear to be a straightforward process. Teachers provide students with information, and students are expected to retain it. However, the act of communicating information does not necessarily result in learning. According to the Australian Education Research Organisation, learning involves the process of encoding new knowledge by connecting it with existing prior knowledge, enabling that knowledge to be stored and retrieved from long-term memory. Consequently, effective teaching requires more than simply transmission of information. It requires students to actively engage with new concepts and construct meaningful connections between new and existing knowledge. The new New South Wales HSIE syllabus reflects this understanding of learning by integrating the disciplines of history, geography, civics and citizenship, and Aboriginal history and culture into one cohesive learning area. Rather than treating these disciplines as isolated bodies of knowledge, the syllabus recognizes the interconnected nature of people, places, societies, and historical events. This integration provides opportunities for students to develop conceptual understanding by identifying relationships across all those disciplines. An example of this interdisciplinary approach can be seen in the early stage one content. Students are introduced to the concept that people lived in the past and that people and places can be identified and described through geographical location. This is one of the content descriptors. Although these concepts may appear to be relatively simple from an adult perspective, they represent a significant conceptual development for young children who are still developing an understanding of historical time and their relationship to the wider world. They don't necessarily understand that the world didn't start with them. They don't understand that things happened before them and that people lived in the past. These concepts therefore require more than verbal explanation. They need to be explored through meaningful and experiential learning opportunities. Project-based learning, informed by inquiry-based learning, which is the overarching pedagogy, and then project-based learning falls within that pedagogy, provides one means of facilitating this deeper learning. Rather than passively receiving information, students can investigate concepts through authentic experiences and apply their developing knowledge to meaningful tasks. For example, students could undertake a project in which they can recount a past trip, like a field trip, or significant experience, something that's happened in their life. As part of the task, students could identify who participated, establish when the event occurred, and locate where it took place using geographical representation, such as maps, globes, and landmarks, identifying where it happened and who was there, the fact that it was in the past. Such an activity would enable students to simultaneously apply historical and geographical concepts while connecting the curriculum to their own prior experience. That way, it's something that is meaningful to them. And we can assess it as well. Assessment could similarly be designed to capture the student's ability to make these connections. I have done that one. Sorry. These capabilities align with the broader purpose of the HSIE syllabus, which is outlined in the rationale. Supporting students to develop an understanding of the complex relationships between people, places, societies, and environments, and to become active, confident, and engaged members of society. Developing this capacity requires students to understand not only the world immediately surrounding them, but also their position within broader social, historical, and geographical contexts. Students cannot fully participate as informed members of society without an understanding of how societies function, how people and places influence one another, and how their own actions contribute to the world around them. In this way, HSIE can be understood as providing students with both a mirror and a window. It acts as a mirror by enabling students to examine their own experiences, identify identities, and relationships with the people and places around them. At the same time, it functions as a window through which students can develop an understanding of experiences, perspectives, societies, and places beyond their immediate personal contexts. Through this combination of reflection and exploration, students can develop an appreciation of their own value, recognize the perspectives and contributions of others, and develop a more sophisticated understanding of the interconnected world in which they live. And that's it. That's how they